Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the latest edition of the Lunchtime Learnings. I'm delighted this afternoon to be joined by Sarah-Anne Gow. Sarah is a residential lettings manager at MacLeod and MacCullum in Scotland. So thank you very much for giving up your time this afternoon. No, you're very welcome. You know what? Why you're on here, one of the reasons, apart from being a really good, exceptional lettings agent, and I've heard many good things about you, is also you do a lot of fantastic work with Agents Giving. So we'll come and we'll talk about that because I know you're a regional ambassador. But tell us, how did you get into lettings and property management and all of that?
It was a bit by accident, and kind of fell into lettings when a vacancy became available, and I just thought it was interesting, and I'd already done sales, so I was trying to kind of grow a bit and round myself off kind of, and I've been there for 22 years.
Okay, so you must have learned a lot in 22 years. So where did you start? What was your position there, and where have you got to today?
So I started as a lettings negotiator, and I now manage a team, and there's 5 of us in the team at the moment.
Okay, so different challenges. So looking at yourself and starting as a lettings negotiator, how did you find the transition from sales to lettings, and what did you learn from that?
The transition at the time wasn't too bad. But over the years, obviously, the legislation has grown. We've now got the letting agent code of practice. It's completely changed from when I first started in lettings. Since new legislation has come in, we've now to be qualified. So I'm a qualified letting agent. I was really proud to be selected as a Learner of the Year with Propertymark. So I was a runner-up and got flown down to London to the House of Lords for the day. So that was really exciting, and once in a lifetime event. So it's just completely changed. So we're kind of look at every opportunity and try and grow our business and be the best that we can be, and be better for our clients.
Fantastic. Congratulations on being Learner of the Year. That must have been amazing. That's a phenomenal achievement.
Yeah.
So talking about qualifications, because I know you're a member of Propertymark and ARLA. Why do you think it's so important to be qualified? And how has that helped you going in front of your landlords and winning new business?
I think it's invaluable for your clients to be able to basically know what you're talking about, be able to give them legislation advice. The legislation is changing constantly in Scotland at the moment. There's new legislation coming in all the time. And Propertymark and the likes of Scottish Association of Landlords, who we're members of as well, they offer training courses constantly. So we're always taking part in them, and we just find it invaluable. You've also got the backup of Landlord Accreditation Scotland. If you get any queries, same as Propertymark, then you can phone someone for a bit of guidance, a bit of help if you're not sure what to do. So Propertymark, I've got nothing but good things to say about them and how they're wanting to progress it and get us all up to a really good standard and get rogue letting agents and rogue landlords out of the market.
Okay, so you talked about being a letting agent, and then now you've built up a team to 5. Congratulations.
Yeah.
So what have been the challenges that you faced building that team and finding the right people? So how do you go about and find the right people? What are the qualities that you feel that you need to support your lettings team?
Yeah, we tend to advertise through one of the various websites that's available. And I think really to be a letting agent, well, obviously you've got to be professional. You've got to be able to multitask. You're dealing with landlords and letting agents. You're quite often stuck in the middle. So you've got to be resilient. You've got to be able to want to grow and do better and just try and give the best service possible.
Okay, so you've mentioned best service a couple of times.
Yeah.
What does best service look like to you?
To us, I think we kind of treat each property as if it was our own. So, you know, as if we were the landlord ourselves. If there's something that we're not particularly happy with, then we're not the kind of letting agent who lets things slide. We're very involved. We like to have good quality properties, good landlords. So I think we're kind of instrumental that way. We also really enjoy what we do. We're a very close-knit team. And I think that's, you know, you spend more time at work than you do at home. So you've got to get on with the people that you work with. And I think we are really lucky in that we do have such a good team, and we all just want to do our best.
That's brilliant. So what do you do to build a team? I know when we were speaking last week and I tried to get hold of you, you were on a team afternoon. And I think you do that quite frequently. So
Yes.
what are the things that you do to build the culture there and the team to make it a very happy place to work at?
Yeah, the firm as a whole is very good at doing, well, last week was our staff outing, which is great. Closed the office for an afternoon. We went on a cruise down Loch Ness and then had a barbecue. We do things periodically. We meet up and go for walks. We actually have a lunchtime walking group. So, you know, like, for example, tomorrow I could put in the chat, you know, I've got nothing planned for lunch. Anybody want to go for lunch or go for a walk? So a few of us will meet up and do that. We do a lot of coffee mornings because our office is on 3 levels. So we don't tend to see a lot of people all of the time. We're also a firm of solicitors, so we're very widespread in who we kind of see in your day-to-day little close network. So we like to get together, just, you know, just get chatting with your colleagues and build relationships that way. So our coffee mornings, bit of baking, coffee, cake, can't go wrong.
Definitely can't go wrong with cake. No. Not in my yeah. Looking at me, you can see why. Okay, actually, you know what? I love that lunchtime walking group. You know, being, you know, when I was an agent for 20 odd years, you know, I used to go for my lunchtime walk every day, and it made such a massive difference and really helped. But actually going with your colleagues as well, I think that's a great idea. Yeah. Especially, you know, you talked about having to be resilient. Where does your resilience come from, and how would you then deal with the stress of your day-to-day job? Because knowing letting agents as well as I do, it's challenging at times.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah, I think in our team we all kind of cope in different ways. We also, when we're having, I think it's quite important because we all, you know, you're working, you're busy all day. So what we tend to do is, if you're having a crappy day, then I just say, right, guys, 10 minutes. We get into a wee huddle in the middle of the room. We have a cup of tea and we hash it all out. And I think once you've talked about it with your team, you're all singing from the same hymn sheet. You maybe realise things are not as bad as what you think, and you can take things personally. But then on the other hand, I come home and I go out for a run or take the dog for a walk or go on the exercise bike, that kind of thing.
Yeah. And that helps and makes a massive difference.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
You also talk about multitasking. So being incredibly organised, I would have thought, is I know for me, multitasking for a man is quite impossible. So tips, you're not meant to laugh at that comment. Tips that it's true. Thanks. So best way of multitasking. I mean, what's the best way of, how do you organise yourself and how do you organise your day? You know, appreciate you manage an awful lot of properties. You have you know, people complaining maybe about their boilers broken. You know, the weather's awful. They've got leaks coming in, whatever it is. How do you multitask and organise everything?
We're very lucky in our contractor database. Our contractors are brilliant, so we can rely on them, send a work order through, we know that it's going to be dealt with. We also, as a department, love a list. So we have a board of what properties that are up and coming, you know, that maybe can't be advertised yet. But it's just something for us to bear in mind if a particular prospective tenant comes in and you maybe think, oh, hold on a sec, is there anything that's coming up that might be suitable for them? We have a list of who's moving into what property, what dates. We're kind of very organised that type of way. We kind of know what's happening. And I think that's just taking a step back sometimes and looking at what's happening and making a plan, making a list of who's doing what and how you're going to get there.
And how frequently are you reviewing those plans and lists?
Yeah, well, we as a team, we meet once a week, just ourselves, and we go through calendars, schedules, things like that. We also meet every couple of months with our property team, because obviously there's a transition of landlords who want to sell, and then you've got prospective landlords buying the property and want to let it out. So we meet bi-monthly with them and have a look at what's happening. And yeah, that's also really helpful to bash ideas off colleagues, marketing ideas, that type of thing as well.
Okay, brilliant. So finding landlords is a challenge for some. If I was setting up my own business today, obviously not in Scotland, around the corner from you, what tips are you prepared to share to help find landlords?
We use social media. We have just started using TikTok, which we love. So you can follow us. And yeah, some of it's silly, we have to let off steam sometimes.
Plug it. What's the TikTok channel?
I think it's Mac and Mac Lettings. Yeah, so
Okay.
you'll see us there. Yeah, so sometimes being silly, but a lot of property videos on there as well, and advice for landlords as well. And to be honest, the majority of our landlords come through referrals from other landlords, which is great. Or landlords have a portfolio and maybe want to add to that.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. So Agents Giving.
Yes.
How did you get involved in that and become a regional ambassador? And thank you, by the way.
Yeah, no, I love it. I think I seen it advertised in one of the industry magazines. And as a firm, we do lots of charity work. As our coffee mornings that we have are quite often held for charity events. And we all kind of do things separately. And I just thought it was a great way to get involved and get the firm as a whole involved. We've now started getting our Highland Solicitors Property Centre involved. So that means other solicitors who use them. They got involved recently in the food bank. And we've just started with the winter coats collection as well. So we've got a few of them, and I am taking part in the cycle in October as well. So we've to get some of the staff members involved in that as well.
Okay. No, it's fantastic. I was at the dragon boat racing a couple of weeks ago. Watching, I hasten to add, rather than taking part, as I had a walking football tournament later that afternoon. But that was my excuse anyway. I didn't want to get injured, knowing how competitive all they are in the boats. But yeah, no, it's incredible what Agents Giving does. Absolutely phenomenal. Yeah. And I touched on a couple of things there which are really, really important, which is the food bank collection and also the winter coats appeal. And, you know, that is throughout the year, especially the food bank. You know, that is something that food banks around the country are in desperate need. So please, if anybody's wants some more details on agents giving, I'm sure you can either reach out to Sarah-Anne, you can reach out to me, you can reach out to Agent Giving, Yvonne, and who's exceptional as well, and Vicky, who do an absolutely fantastic job. And I'm sure we point you all in the right direction. Right, quick question before I go, and I'm grateful for your time. Any recommendations on books, podcasts that have helped you over the years?
Ooh. To be honest, podcast is something that I have just started listening to while I'm out walking the dog. And it is something that we're considering doing at Mac and Mac as well, because, you know, there's lots of different ones out there. Books. I can't think of any off the top of my head, to be honest. I've actually only recently, because we had a corporate book event at work and we had a couple of authors come and talk about their books. I've actually only started reading again because the kids are now at that age where they can do their own thing and I can get a book back out. So yeah, I'm really enjoying reading again. Good.
Okay. Well, look, it's lovely speaking to you. Thank you so much for your time. We got there in the end. We won't tell people what happened. If people want to get a hold of you or find out anything more about Agents Giving, how do they do that, please?
Yeah, they can get in touch with me at MacLeod and MacCullum, and the telephone number is 01463 258 002, or you can find me on LinkedIn as well.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it. And everybody, thank you very much for watching and listening.
Thank you.